So let me ask you something. When was the last time you rested and didn't feel guilty about it? It wasn't something that I call a productivity rest. It's not a nap squeezed in between. What I actually mean is full rest, where you're mentally through everything you should be doing instead. If you're struggling to think of a time, this video is for you. My name is Helen Bass. I'm a therapist, and today we're talking about hustle culture, but not in the way you've heard it before. We're not going to talk about productivity hacks or morning routines. Today we're talking about why hustle for so many of us stopped being a choice a long time ago, and what it actually costs you when rest starts to feel dangerous. Stay with me. I want to paint a picture. Maybe you grew up watching your parents work. Maybe your mom was always moving, i.e. cooking, cleaning, working, double shifts, sending money back home, and somehow still showing up for school events. Maybe your dad never complained, never asked for help, just kept going. And the message you absorbed, not because anyone said it out loud, but because you watched it lived, was, this is what love looks like. This is what survival looks like. This is what a good person does. So you learned to hustle, not because a motivational speaker told you to, but because rest in your house wasn't really an option. Because there was always more to do, because stopping felt like betrayal of everything your parents sacrificed. And now maybe you're exhausted. You're successful on paper, you're checking boxes, you might even look fine from the outside, but inside, there's a tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, a kind of bone-deep depletion that you can't quite explain to people who haven't lived it. That's what we're talking about today. By the way, if this is already resonating, I write about this every month in my free newsletter, The Sincere Practice Letters. It's where I go deeper on topics like this one, no fluff, real talk. Link is in the description. Come find us over there. Why the typical hustle advice doesn't work for us. Here's what I need you to understand. Hustle culture wasn't designed with you in mind. The grind and succeed narrative, the girl boss era, you just have to want it more messaging was built for a very specific kind of person. Someone who isn't translating documents for their parents after school. Someone who isn't carrying guilt about having more than the people they love. Someone for whom ambition doesn't seem loaded with grief. For first-gen women, for women of color, for daughters of immigrants, hustle often isn't a mindset. It's a survival response, as we've talked about. And there is a massive difference between these two things. A survival response isn't something you can just balance. You can't meditation app your way out of it because it lives in your nervous system, not on your to-do list. So here's what burnout actually looks like for high-achieving women. I want to name something that I see constantly in my work and that I almost never see get talked about, honestly. Burnout for high-achieving women, especially for first-gen women, doesn't always look like falling apart. Sometimes it looks like saying and achieving more, staying busy, adding another project, another certification, another responsibility. Can I get an amen? Because slowing down feels more threatening than burning out. Think about it. If you stop hustling, who are you? If you're not productive, if you're not achieving, if you're not on, do you still deserve to take up space? Do you still make your parents' sacrifices worth it? These aren't dramatic questions. They're a quiet background hum that keeps so many brilliant, capable women running on empty. And calling it laziness or a lack of discipline is not just wrong, it's also a harmful form of messaging to decapitalize on rest. And let's talk about that guilt because it's real and it's specific. For so many of us, rest was something our parents didn't get to have. And so when we rest, there's this whisper, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, that says, who do you think you are? Your mom didn't rest, your dad didn't rest, and here you are lying on the couch on a Sunday afternoon, and it feels like moral failure. I want to gently offer you a reframe, or maybe a different frame. What if resting, genuinely, unapologetically resting, is actually one of the most radical things you can do? Yes, that's right. What if breaking the cycle of depletion that your parents were forced into is honoring their sacrifice, not wasting it? You don't have to earn the right to exist in a body that isn't running on fumes. So, what do we actually do about this? I'm not going to give you a 5-step morning routine. What I want to give you are 3 reframes because I believe the thinking has to shift before the behavior can. Reframe number 1: hustle is not a personality trait. It's a coping strategy you developed in a specific environment for specific reasons. It served you, and you are allowed to decide when it's no longer serving you. You are not betraying who you are by choosing differently. You're evolving. Reframe number 2: sustainable ambition is still ambition. Slowing down is not giving up. Building at a pace that doesn't destroy you is not settling. Some of the most impactful work I've seen women do came from a place of clarity and rest, not panic or depletion. The goal isn't to stop being ambitious, it's to stop letting fear be the engine that drives you. Reframe number 3: rest is data, not laziness. When you feel resistance to resting, when your body is still but your mind is screaming, that's information. It's telling you something about what you believe you deserve. Start there. Not with a to-do list, but with that belief. I want to close with this. If you've been hustling your whole life, not because you love the grind, but because stopping has always felt like too big of a risk, I want you to know that I see you. I've sat across from so many women who have achieved extraordinary things and still don't feel enough, who are running, and can't remember why they started. You don't have to earn rest here. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to schedule it between 2 productive activities so it counts. You're allowed to just be, even right now, even after everything it took to get here. So if today's conversation opened something up for you, can you do me a favor? I'd love for us to keep going at this together. I write a free newsletter called The Sincere Practice. It comes out twice a month and it goes deeper than what I can fit in this video. We talk about the psychology of high achievement, cultural identity, family dynamics, burnout, all the things that don't have easy answers but are worth sitting with. The link to subscribe is in the description below or in the link to my bio. It's free, it's no spam, and you can unsubscribe anytime. But I genuinely think if this video resonated, you'll find a home there. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, seriously. It means everything to building this community with you. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. If you know someone who needs to hear this today, send it to some of them. Sometimes the most caring things we can do for each other is say, hey, you're not alone in this. Thanks, my name's Helen Bass, and I'll see you on the next one.